mean, I definitely, as far as like what a DJ, it's always gonna be first and foremost is if you out and about and you outside doing it. It's rocking, man. It's not even important if you got the coldest shit or um, if you got this name. And I've seen many big name people get their asses waxed by somebody who did not have as much of a big name. It's all about rocking. I mean, uh, that's I think that's first and foremost. The way I do it is just try and be deliberate. Try and be put some thought into it. I don't never go nowhere and not give it some thought. I'm not big on planning a lot of stuff out. I might have an idea where I want to start, maybe an idea where I want to end, but you can get to where you got to go and you walk into the room and something completely different may be required. So I'm never uh, married to any one idea other than to rock. At the end of the day, that's the most important. And so rocking a party takes on a bunch of different forms. And I mean, I like to tell a story. I like for things to get energetic. It's a lot of things that go into it when I think about a party. I don't want to wear people out. I want people to kind of stay there. I want people who getting ready to leave to stay like an extra hour. So, I don't necessarily concentrate on the dance floor in front of me. I might concentrate on the people on the perimeter, on the outskirts of the party, in the back of the party. I figure if I can get the people on the side and then they seats wiggling, then the dance floor would be cool. I don't have any huge objections towards digital media. My biggest objection is to laziness, and unfortunately, I feel like a lot of there should there there should be a pressure, some type of pressure involved with performance. Either it's a pressure to do well, a pressure to a pressure to kick ass, a pressure to crush whoever you rocking against or rocking with. Um, and unfortunately, it's so easy to get music now. I feel like when I go see a lot of people, I feel the ass sitting on the couch kind of vibe, as opposed to I got up and I went here and I went there and I just, I was digging over here and I found this. And I think that's one of the biggest differences about 2018 versus say 1988, even 1998. Um, there was a lot more prestige in getting up and being chosen and or paid to go rock for somebody. Now it's all daisy chain and circle jerk maneuvers. So it's a lot. It's it's a lot of ass tickling going on out here. So I'm not impressed with that. I'm just not. All right. I am a form over fashion dude. First and foremost, I appreciate style. I appreciate some flair, some pizzazz with the delivery. Um, I don't trust a DJ that don't really move when they play. I'm not a proponent of spending half the time out of the booth dancing while you're supposed to be DJ either. It's gotta be I don't see how you can really be rocking if you're not spending a lot of time in the booth. I've seen some people do some parties and they spent half the time out the booth dancing and half the time kind of in the booth, but they was phoning it in and it was doomed from the beginning. So that's not so hot. But yeah, I mean, I'm from Chicago, so I mean, I got a house background, but I discovered hip hop at an early age, but even with the early house thing, it was, people they wanted to be known as being superior, and like they was like, if you listen to like the Hot Mix 5 or whatever, them dudes was mixing circles around everybody for the most part. And you think about stuff like that, and then the whole battle side of it coming from New York. But then you have like the whole rock all night aspect of it of a Ron Hardy. So it's always just been kind of like, for me, kind of mixing all of that together. I I definitely don't consider myself a house DJ or a hip hop DJ or any kind of. I'm just a DJ. And I pride myself on being able to play a lot of different styles. I don't. I'm not big on jagging off in public, so I definitely want to. I gotta, it's gotta have a reason. You just can't be there playing around and showing off to your other little DJ buddies. I got this, I got that. It's definitely about making some people dance. Hot women in your party, you need those. Um, it's disturbing how few fine women be at the parties with the best music. It's a sad thing, but I think if there was more thoughtfulness, more earnestness put into the presentation, as well as the content, we would see like a liver Chicago, and just liver stuff in general. And yeah, but at the end of the day, just rock. Rock with whatever you got. I know that this is an era of heavy selectors and stuff. We just got records and no technique. For them, I'm gonna say music's good, but if you out at night doing what real DJs supposed to do, then you should be doing it too. And includes some people I know, and it ain't no diss to what they're doing, but me personally, I worked and practiced a long time and got put in a lot of hours, not just like at home, but like out in the street, and really perfecting and working on what I do, and that requires going out and dropping some eggs sometimes, and catching an L, getting spanked by somebody, but taking some lessons from whoever might have spanked you. I learned a lot from Mike Love. Shout out to Mike Love, because he spanked the shit out of me. I rocked with. This is about, gotta be about 18, 19 years ago, somewhere between 18, 20 years ago. And rocking with that dude, I learned a lot because he's super crisp and had real, You know, we had some real good time, and you know, technique was good. And you know, the dance floor literally might have held about 200, 300 people. So this was a different, you know, this is a different kind of a thing, and it ain't rocking 300 people off of house music. It's rocking 300 people off of, you know, the hot R&B and hip hop for that time. So it's a little different, but I'm happy I was able to, you know, learn those types of things because um, the average cat around here, they just not they not that diverse, and everybody kind of suffers for that because you know you kind of you play yourself into a corner. You make it so it's difficult for you to play anything else but what you've been playing. You're not showing them much. You know, you're showing them maybe a wide lane, but it's still one lane. So uh, I'm thankful that I've gotten a chance to rock with some of the best, and just some, you know, Chicago got some cold blooded DJs, and if you can't mix, what it used to be, if you can't mix, you would get clowned, you know, ruthlessly. And I've seen some things happen over the last 10 years or so where it just really made me wonder where the hell I was because it turned into the code of personality, court of public opinion, and you know it'd be cats and cats and kittens, hot garbage, like the hottest steaming piles of garbage when it came to getting on and really kind of stealing money. So I'm not for that. Is it? Also, if you cannot do an hour and a half or 2 hours of vinyl and say you're a digital only DJ, you should get an asterisk by your DJ. Every time your name pops up, an asterisk should pop up because I don't feel like this is might be one of the only platforms where you can get away with stuff like that. And it's like if you a guitar player and you show up with a keyboard calling yourself a guitar player, not a keyboard, a synthesizer to be exact, playing guitar licks, but you call yourself a guitar player, it's not really gonna work, you know. If you call yourself a drummer and you just stomping on the ground, that's not really gonna work. You're gonna need at least one drum. So for all those people, well, I don't know what to say. I mean, y'all fucked up somewhere. I don't feel like I've reached grandmaster status yet. I'm still very much a student. I mean, I think even if you hit grandmaster status, you still gonna be learning. Um, but you know, I don't have a problem sharing. I'll gladly share whatever music. I didn't make the music, and if I did make it, I'd still share it. So I'm not stuck on that. I did used to cover up my labels and stuff, but that was before the internet. And so when that kind of knowledge was like a lot more precious, I it is unfortunate that it's not um, looked on with the same kind of reverence that it used to be. I mean, I get that, and I know that the internet has a lot to do with that. But I also know that, like, if you leave this country, You go to Japan or you go to Europe, man, they really, they really, really cherish, this music. And, kind of the whole art of DJing, because it is an art, I mean, it's a, it's, you can be a technician and not an artist, but I think the artist got the flair and the technician. I don't mind being called more than a technician. I know I've heard some interesting arguments, that you go to so and so party if you want to meet chicks, but you go to J2 party if you want to get your head rocked. Well, this is the only thing with that. It be chicks in my parties too. It just don't be the same kind. And you probably if you a weak Nancy or a Lily Liver type of person, then it ain't for you. You know what I mean? Because these be some more growner, more sophisticated kind of situations. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, everybody should have their own style. I understand that you have a few people who are definitely trendsetters, and a lot of people sound like them. I think like Twilight Tone comes to mind, because I know he really, really brought like a kind of an East Coast style with the hip hop, but he still was a little different, because he's different than East Coast, but he was different than the Chicago guys. But a lot of people in Chicago really kind of modeled themselves after him, and Timbuktu, who was modeled, rest in power to him. And but Timbuktu is a direct student of Twilight, so them two had a lot to do with like kind of shaping current DJ culture in Chicago. I don't really know what the hell's going on out there for the most part now. I mean, I go to things, but it all kind of blends together. Unfortunately, like the South Side is pretty much, you only hear house music, which is boring. And not boring because it's house music, just because nobody does anything else. You hear good music, but if every single party, if 90% of the parties you go to on the South Side are house music, it just doesn't seem quite fair. It doesn't seem like a good distribution of the of what's happening. And if I have to go, to Logan Square, Wicker Park, to hear soul music and maybe some rockers or some disco on a regular basis, and it's no black people playing all this black music, it's something real screwy about the whole situation. And then you look at just how a lot of cats who play on the South Side don't play past a certain point, and a lot of the people who play up there don't play on the South Side. So, just usual politics and Chicago being Chicago and people being fine with it. I'm not cool with it. I've rocked all over the city. I'm gonna keep rocking all over the city. I'm gonna always stay funky. I'm always gonna try and blow a hole through somebody's head when I play. I don't know, just more stank, more grit, more funk, more fun. And just I don't know. I don't know how it got so regimented and so formulaic. It's mad formulaic, because you can almost call what you're going to hear where you're going to hear it. And that's unfortunate, because it used to be a lot more variety. And it was no shame in it, Now, if you don't claim you a house head, you get the treatment. Especially if you black of a certain age. From the side. was all, when we were developing, house music included everything you would hear at a house party, or any party for the most part. So that included about, like every genre under the sun. Anything that worked to keep people rocking, that's what got rocked. And so when I think of house music, that's what I think about. But I know that if you look at house music as a whole, it's something very, very, very linear now. It's not so. It's not so circular. So I don't know. I think we should stop that. And that makes me think about something I saw Charles Williams post the other day, and he asked the question if any of the house DJs in Chicago even bought music to just listen to, that they did not. Just music that they would just to listen to, and I wouldn't even have had to read the thread to know what the answers were, because you can tell that they not listening to nothing but the stuff that they play. Because if they listen to more, it would sound different. It would be more. You would hear more of like Anthony Nicholson. You would hear more like Shannon Harris. You'd hear Dwayne Powell's getting it. But you'd hear like more of them, more Glenn Underground. You would hear a lot more variety in what you hear in the city. It would just be a much wider array of sounds, and not so predictable. So I just say all that to say, for any aspiring DJs, any current DJs, any retired DJs, just think about what it is that got you wanting to do it in the first place. And if you was just doing it just to get girls, then this does not pertain to you. I want y'all to not DJ ever again. So if you just doing it to get girls, then that's a mistake. It's always, I never did it to get girls, because the thing I found out, you can find women anywhere. And I prefer not to look in the club, especially when I'm working. And that's always been just a personal opinion of mine, because that's problematic as hell. But just think about it. I mean, you really, really, really have a chance to change somebody's perspective. Shit, you might even change their life, depending on what you hit them with. And I've been thoroughly banged over the head before, and had my world rocked, and I'm always open to it. It just don't happen no more. Yeah. I mean, it ain't about the rare stuff no more. It's about you. I mean, yeah, you want to hit some people in the head with some stuff they don't know. But I mean, thanks to the wonders of the World Wide Web, it's not a lot of stuff like that no more. So it is definitely, to me, more than ever about skills and your own personal style, because the music is been widely disseminated. It's all over the place, and it's tons of it out there. So you might as well go hard for yourself. Definitely don't take no. Don't be trying to copy nobody. Biting is still whack. For all you biters out there, for the dude who stole my CD and held on to it, that was very, very wrong of you. You know who you are too, man. That was not a cool move. But and you can study me forever and you still wouldn't get it. I think that's kind of the point in that. So, yeah, that's it. Be yourself, fly your flags, rock hard, man. And they can tell them they can kiss your ass with everything else.
Need some practice with that. bringing it